doesn't make it easy to follow that religion. It makes it more difficult, which is counterproductive to why religion came in the first place.
All
It's
right.
counter. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How have you been?
I've been good. How about you?
I have been doing well as well. Thank you. And how was your Dashara celebration?
It was not, I mean, it was nothing actually. Nothing happens here. So it was
Okay.
just,
So you are in Bangalore.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's very boring. I didn't really do anything. I did talk at home. I saw puja happening at home, but that was all digitally and from a distance. So,
Yeah. I mean, it happens. Like I have had this experience as well when I
Mhm.
had first gone to Delhi, and that year all the festivals were like nothing at all because they hardly celebrate these festivals there.
Yes. But at the same time, I feel it's essential because that way you, compare and you realize how important it is being at home and, feeling
Yeah,
that,
right. Of course.
it's like
I mean,
apps.
whenever we do not get something, then only we realize the importance of that thing.
Exactly. The absence in life is very important to recognize presence. That's the way of putting it.
Correct.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I saw your name. Like I remember you telling me that this was the last classes we had. It's gonna be your last
Yeah,
subscription. Sort.
of course.
Yeah. I
So
saw your name.
after that, I took a break and then I tried to do something else. But then it felt like I still have something to work on, and then that's why I started again.
Okay. I'm glad that you're back, and I'm happy to talk to you again.
Yeah,
Wonderful. And as always, we don't have a topic, but we can
of course.
pick one and talk. Tell me how was the Shahra for you? How did you celebrate?
It was normal. Like I do not like to celebrate this festival that way, and only because of the loudspeaker, the way they use loudspeaker throughout the day, that irritates me. But of course, I was at home, so quality time with friends and family members, and this, because even after being along with your friends and family these days, it is really tough to meet them on a regular basis. So these are the days when you meet them and enjoy the time together. So I did all that.
Wow, that is nice. It's really nice to hear that, it's coming together time also.
All right.
Do you do pujas at home and what to what extent?
I personally do not do, and I do not even enjoy, because the kind of rules that are set, and you have to do this only this way. You have to wash your hand. You don't have to touch onion and all that rules that hardly make sense. Ever since I was a teenager, I started thinking about all this, and because of that, I have a negative mindset towards puja and all. Because I think that puja should be done for your peace. If you are able to get that peace, it's okay. But instead of that peace, the kind of puja we celebrate, and especially the Chhat puja, like so many rules and regulations are there that you would always busy thinking that whether I have done it right or not. So instead of doing the
Yeah.
peace for calm, you are doing it for other purposes, thinking about whatever you think, that is a different thing. But the way you do it, that makes you more tense rather than being in peace. So that's what I feel. But of course, these are the times that we celebrate together, because other than that, like I said to you, that even after you are at same home, you would not be able to meet with each other or talk to each other, spend quality time together. So these are the times when you have leave, you are at home, and you enjoy the time together. So that is the best part for me. Other than
Mm,
that, I do not do all the puja kind of stuff.
okay. You've always been you've always been fond of logic and reason, I think.
Yeah,
Sort of.
I mean
Okay.
the things that hardly make sense is of no use. That's what I feel. And in terms of puja, we do not have to think that way. But of course, if something goes that way, then you should not be worried that, okay, I have done this mistake. Now what will happen? Nothing will happen because
Mm.
whatever you have to do, you will do yourself. These are just for the sake of peace and calmness. So just do it in that way. That's what I feel.
And that's actually a very valid reasoning in the sense that, I mean, what is the purpose of it? As you said, worship and all, we all do to put ourselves at calm, peace, and at ease. It is supposed to bring uh, peace to our lives. But in doing so itself, if it's so harsh, if it is so rigid, then doesn't serve the purpose anymore. Yeah, that is true.
Right, right.
And I think that's also why a lot of people choose to, turn their face towards religion and then choose atheism or become atheists.
Yeah, cannot disagree to that. And even I feel like sometimes I feel that I am an atheist. And at the same time, my friends would ask, okay, then why do you go to temple? And why do you eat prasad and all? So, like last few years, I have visited only temples across the country. First Kedarnath, then Puri, Jagannath. So
Mm.
they ask this, that how come you go to those temples? Because my answer would be that I go there just to enjoy and visit and look at the architecture and all other things. Or even if I look at some statues, then if there is some piece related to it, it's okay. So if you think that I'm not atheist, then okay, it is. I can say that. Or if I'm atheist, if I say whatever it is, I do not like all the other logic that is associated with puja. Whatever I like, I believe in that.
Yes, that is true. And I think even religiously, our own religion, I think Hinduism is still very flexible in that manner. It does not like kind of bind you to a lot of rules and regulations. Also allows you to enjoy other festivals. Allows you to respect Christianity at the same time. Go to gurudwaras, eat say in Eids. I think I feel that and also my parents keep saying this is that's a boon of being a Hindu, that you're not very rigidly tied to your religion.
I can't agree more on this with you. Of course, we are flexible, and this is how it should be. And it's whatever
That
what I feel, that not only Hinduism, but even in other religion, they they can follow this way. There are people like us who are flexible enough to accept others. But of course, if we talk about in overall, then there is more rigidity in other religion, especially in Muslim community.
is true. That is true. And that also, I mean, it's also a repulsive factor where it doesn't make it easy to follow that religion. It makes it more difficult, which is counterproductive to why religion came in the first place.
All
It's
right.
counter. One
And
thing,
in fact, if I would like to add one thing, that
yeah,
I believe in the concept of uh, Rabindranath Tagore, who says that there should be no boundaries and no religion at all. We should focus on humanity. A human being is the only religion, something like that.
yeah, absolutely. And this is also sort of like a base for spirituality versus religion. So, where
Yeah.
are you a spiritual person? So, yeah, absolutely. There was one point when you were talking about how people in the same home don't get to be so close to each other. You said at same home. So here, instead of saying that, we can say in the same home, or a better phrasing would be under the same roof. I mean,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, people living under the same roof, even though physically share the space, but might not be on the same
Right.
page or
Right.
Yeah. So I just wanted to point that out for a better phrasing. Yeah. All right. Yeah, getting back to what we were talking about. Yeah. Uh, but at the same time, I feel there are certain practices, certain rituals that come to us through religion, but in general also they mean a lot. Like for example, in the Shahra itself, the ninth day we feed nine female children, right? Uh,
Right.
that activity in itself, it might be forced upon us through the religion, through the worship, but in itself, it holds so much value in humanity itself. You're feeding children, little children, and you are worshipping them as goddesses. So, what do you
Yeah,
have
of
to say
course.
about it?
I mean, this is a win-win situation in both cases, and for both. I mean, for the person who is at receiving end and the person who is at giving it. It is, of course, win-win situation for both. But what I feel or what I have observed that even in that case, there is some rigidity. So I do not like that, because if you are doing something, if you are offering something, you should be thinking that you are fortunate to offer this, and you should not be thinking in other way.
True, absolutely. But as this, okay, since we are here on this page, don't you think, and even as it is applied in science itself, there should be a level of rigidity to certain practices. Like even when we follow maths or when we do physics, numericals equations, we have to conform to certain rules. We have to follow formulae and all. So similarly, in religion or in social terms, rigidity sort of acts as a ground to be an enabler to do it. Because if there wouldn't be any rules, if there wouldn't be any principles or set pattern to it, maybe we'll all be doing it haywirely, or maybe we'll not be doing it, right? Because sometimes convenience comes in the way. So don't you?
Right.
I feel if we look at it like that, it's also sort of a motivator, the rigidity.
Of course, like this is a new concept to me, and this is altogether a new perspective that you have put in here. That the rigidity kind of thing that we have in science, or why not we can have in social settings as well. But
Mm.
of course, it is a good thought, and we can have that. But whatever I was saying, that is altogether in different context. That if we are doing something, we should be fortunate enough, and we can do it on different days as well. It's not about the rigidity, like you said, that in that case we would not be able to do it, or if there is no rigidity, we might think we may do or we may not do as well. But if there is something, then it's like a rule that we have to do this. So in that case, it depends upon the perspective only, how we feel, how we think, and how we do it.
Absolutely. And as you quoted the Chhat Puja as example, I think I was just thinking in my head, another way of maybe looking at it is also what makes it so pious, what makes it so auspicious is also its rigidity, in the sense that, everything has to be perfect and spick and span and nothing should go wrong. So I think in that manner, and this is a way and I'm thinking not because I see it like that, but also has been passed down by my grandmother who observes this practice, and she says that if you this is not like any other ritual because it has to be done so strictly. And I think that's also where it leverages in a way. So yeah, I mean, talking about perspective, yes, that's how she sees it. So that's
Right.
also an
Okay.
any anything that your family tells you about these rituals, like when you might object to it, if you do, and if you think of it like that, any perspective that your family puts forth.
Nothing. I mean, they are quite okay with whatever I do, because they know that I'm stubborn, and no matter what, I am going to follow whatever I feel on the particular day. So they hardly object to it and hardly say anything to me. They have left me that okay, it is up to you, whatever you think and whatever you do it in your own.
Mm, right. True. I think to an to
So
up.
so I am fortunate in that matter as well, because this flexibility is not enjoyed by everyone, especially in our society. It's like there is more rigidity on the part of the children, that they do not, they cannot complain, they cannot argue, they can only accept whatever they are being told to. So in that sense, I am fortunate on this part for sure.
It is true. And I think it also comes with age, because up to a certain age, parents take it upon themselves to shape a life. And after
Yeah.
that, also take a step back, thinking that they've done their part. And now it's our turn to make choices for ourselves. And it's also very important. Uh, and more than fortunate, I think it's a right. It's also a right to choose, right?
Yeah, of
Because
course it is right, but I use that particular word only because of the kind of social settings we are in and the kind of relation we have with our guardian.